Now let me know, how is everything around you?
Everything is good, ma'am. What about you?
It's perfectly fine.
Okay, so is your
So,
off day today?
yeah, we have you can say public holiday today.
Okay,
Yeah. In which part of India, Miss Meenakshi, you belong to?
okay.
To which
So
part of India?
I live in Uttarakhand.
Okay, nice. Okay. Do you know something about me? I live
No,
in
I don't
Punjab.
know. Yes, I know that. Your basic information. Actually, yesterday I watched your one of video that where I got to know that you are from Punjab and something about that you have never have been to Uttarakhand as well.
Yeah, I have never been to that area. Yes.
I think that was your conversation with a tutor. From you were calling from a car, something like that.
Some
You were
professional?
sitting. Sorry.
Some professional tutor you're talking about?
No, no. I was. Which video I watched your one of yours that you were sitting in the car and you were talking to a tutor.
Okay. That was actually my very first video, and that was very first session of mine also. And for the first time, I talked to somebody, and then I posted it on that platform. Before that, I knew nothing that how the things are done. Otherwise, I could have managed in a somewhat better way.
Okay.
It was so stressful for me because that was my first session and I couldn't reach home on time. And I was
Mm-hmm.
on the way and I didn't want to give it a miss. So it was like kind of some teacher is there on the other side and some student is on this side and a student can't dare to give it a miss. So it was
Okay.
that kind of session.
So that was also good. And was that your first video on
Yeah,
YouTube?
that was my very first video which I posted on YouTube. Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay,
started my journey on YouTube with that video only.
okay.
And that way, that was my very first session with the tutor also. Like you may say, first session with the tutor and first video on YouTube.
Okay. But at that time, you were also speaking good.
You may say to some extent because I'm already a professional person, you may say. So that way, some sort of skill automatically comes in your style and your way of speaking. But
True.
otherwise, basically, my all schooling have been from a government school, and because I live in Punjab, so Punjabi is a regional language, and in most of the government institutions, even the all the work is done in the local language. That is a you can say strictly a strict instruction by the government at the government end also.
Okay.
So yeah, my journey of having encountered with the language as a student started from my sixth standard. But
Okay.
because when I became a professional, I came into job. Then whenever you are to go to some events or you host some event, so by
Mm-hmm.
virtue of that you get into this conversation and
Mm-hmm.
some sort of communication you can say you uh, perform or you do in English. So
Mm-hmm.
that way you may say, though that was my first session, but I already knew some of the stuff. But I'm not thorough. Still, I feel that so much is still undone.
Okay. But I think you are working for fluency.
I'm working for.
Fluency in order to speak in English.
I couldn't hear you. I think my headphones are also not accepted. Just a minute.
Okay. Am I clear now?
Actually, my AC is on. It's too hot this side. And AC produces its own sound.
Mhm. Same here. So I was asking you that you, as you are working in your speaking, but already you are speaking good. But I think right now you are working for your fluency.
Fluency, yeah. Yes. I'm at the moment fully focused on my fluency and the uses of fancy words.
Okay.
Yes. At the same time, it was not a kind of this thing that I was so good at so far as reading and writing was concerned. Yeah, I was a bit better, But so far as communication is concerned, that we people, you can say, or I never got that kind of opportunity. Because if you take the lead, suppose if I am hosting some event, so I am the master of the ceremony, then I know that what I have to say and what in what way my the speaking will go. But in the situation where you are not prepared and somebody from the other side starts conversing to you in English, then it becomes a bit difficult for you, because you are
Yes,
not mentally prepared that what kind of questions you might get from the other side. You are not prepared for the answers. So
right,
that is
right.
the thing which I want at the moment. I want to
Yes,
bring that fluency and that grip on the command over the language. I want to have it at the
yes.
moment. I'm working on that now.
Okay. One thing I couldn't understand that which kind of ceremony are you hosting?
Okay. Actually, I'm in the Department of Education, and for the so many years I was in teaching, and my institution has always been the institution of higher education. Higher education means colleges.
Okay.
So I have worked as professor in the colleges, and being the heads of the department, you some not sometimes a number of times you get the opportunity to have the events, some prize distribution events, some convocation kind of event, even your departmental activities, being the head of the department. So I was actually referring to those kinds of events. Now I am not directly into teaching. I am on the other side of the table at the moment. So
Okay.
now I look after all the administrative stuff. So again, the similar kind of scenario, whenever we people have the conferences in the colleges. So being the head of the institution, you are to take the lead. So that
Mm-hmm.
way, because in that case you are prepared, you know that this event belongs to this particular category and I have to speak this way only. Problem in my case has always been when I'm not prepared for the event, I'm not prepared for the situation, and per chance I get I come in contact with the person, or some encounter of that thing happens where the person on the other side immediately start conversing in English. So in that very moment, though the things are there on your mind, but
Mm-hmm.
you need to have some time to figure it out, that in
Mm-hmm.
what way you are. So that lacuna is still there in my
Right.
communication. So at
Okay.
the moment I'm working on that.
Okay. So do you plan a script for that before hosting, or randomly you speak over there?
No, definitely. You can't say, yeah, to some extent, you may say, to some extent, it is scripted, because you are aware of what is my kind of event and who is coming as a guest. So there are some specific, words and sentences and phrases. These are fixed for these kinds of events, right? You are to welcome, you know how to welcome somebody when you are to address. If you are addressing the students, being the head, you know how to address the students. But after and out of this arena, then the situation again becomes challenging when you are not prepared.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You let me know about yourself. Are you working, or you are looking after your kids and the family?
So right now I'm looking after my family. Actually, I was working before marriage. It has been 4 years to my marriage right now. Right now, I'm a housewife. I'm just taking care of my son, especially. And before it, I had some difficulty, some like circumstances was not good at my home just because of my father-in-law. Right now, he is not with us. So he was a dialysis patient at that time. I think you would be understanding that it was very difficult because I am only one daughter of
Daughter-in-law.
this house, daughter-in-law of this house. So I needed to take care of them. So that's why I wasn't able to work anywhere. But right now, I just want to improve myself. I just want to uh, improve my communication skill. And after that, whenever my kid will start to go school, then I will think about myself. What should I do?
Hmm. You want to come in some service, some job kind of thing in future? Do you have these kinds of plans?
I didn't plan yet, but earlier, whatever I had experienced from my past, I worked in a small channel. Actually, I live in Uttarakhand, so here are very small cities. And in my one of city when I was where I was working, there was a new channel and I was anchoring over there, but that was all in Hindi. And I have kind of interest on that. So if I will be working in my future, so I will think about that to carry on that.
Going back to that field.
Yes.
That is very fascinating, Miss Meenakshi.
Yes, and actually, I had done anchoring sometimes. I was not for only anchoring, especially for anchoring over there when someone was not able there to anchor. So I used to do that, and especially my work was for making advertisement. I was working on Photoshop and some kind of editing software. So that was my
Okay.
work, and if I will be working again, so I will do only that.
So that way, now you post your videos on YouTube, right? You have your own channel at the moment. So that way, it means when you started your own channel, before starting that, before launching your channel, you were already familiar with these kinds of things. What is this editing and how these things are done?
Yes, but right now I'm not using that software which I was using in the past. I don't have that key and something I need for that. But right now I'm just editing on KineMaster, and you can see that. But right now, especially that is most important is for me that to improve myself, nothing else, to improve my communication skill.
That's good. Nice. Actually, I saw your pic, your WhatsApp pic, your DP with two small kids. I thought you have these two small kids.
I have only one kid, my son. He is 2 years old, and another one was my daughter's. No, sorry, my elder sister's daughter.
Hmm. Okay, nice. Okay. Then, do you do something, some special kind of effort to work on your skill? Because it's a difficult task. It's very easy to say, I'm simply a housewife. But
Mm.
housewife means you have to take care of everything related to your
Yes.
house.
Mm.
It's the
Mm.
toughest kind of job, I believe.
Right.
Because similarly, because I used to say, whenever anybody asks, and we working women, we used to say, I'm a working professional. But if you analyze this thing critically, every woman is looking after A to Z in the family. May it
Mm.
be related to her job, maybe it's related to your kitchen, your laundry, your press wala, your husband, your kids, everything. So that way, this is not an easy job to look after so much of the stuff. So already you are, taking care of so many things.
Yes.
This is
Ma'am.
a wonderful thing.
Yes. So this is the stage where I'm. It is difficult for me to manage my time. Although my kid is very young right now, he is just 2 years old. But in this stage, and I think you must know about that. He's 2 years old as he like walk here and there in the house, and he touches switches and something. So he need lots of care right now.
Mhm.
So it is difficult for me at that time to learn something new. So whenever he sleep, I just try to connect with people. And last time it happens with you that I denied for a call. So that was the problem. He was crying from one side, and it was difficult for me to connect with someone.
Yeah, I do understand because you are in that stage through which I have passed out. So I can easily understand it very well. Being a woman, I can understand each and everything. It's not an easy thing. It's very difficult to manage all the things. Even whenever I have my these kinds of sessions, and mostly these have happened with the young boys. I always give the mention of this thing in my all the sessions. They are putting lots of efforts. So one reason could have been that the boys in our society, they get that kind of leverage that they have to look after just themselves only, frankly speaking. So that way they can spend 5 or 6 or 10 hours in a day if they
Right.
wish, because they
Right.
are not to look after anything else.
Hmm.
So they used to say that, okay, ma'am, I work on my communication skill, then I have multiple sessions in a day, then I am into reading also, I write also. But being a woman, we don't afford it. Your reasons are different at your end, my reasons are different at my end. But the situation overall is the similar one. Throughout the day we remain busy because we have to look after our family also. In your case, maybe your husband and your small kid. In my case, my grown up children,
Would
my
be
husband
different.
and my old parents are also there. So
Right.
responsibilities, as you grow older, your responsibilities multiply. It is simply a myth. When I was at your stage, once my child will start going to school, I will be a bit relaxed. Once he or she will start going to college, I will be a bit relaxed. That moment never comes in life, Meenakshi. That
I
moment never
was
comes. Your
okay.
responsibilities keep on multiplying because as your child grows, their demands increases and the responsibilities multiply.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
be prepared for that from
Yes.
this very stage.
So, as I'm also thinking that when he would be going to school, I will be getting lots of time at that time. I think it will not happening, whatever I'm thinking.
You will send him to the school in the morning. You will be busy with the preparing, making
Yes.
preparation for his tiffin. Okay. And small children, they stay in the schools maximum for 3 or 4 hours, not more than that. By
Hmm.
the time you will be finishing, giving finishing touch to rest of the things, and you will start just looking at the clock. Now my son is about to come, or either you are to go to pick him up. So this cycle goes on. Then he will be back.
Right.
Then you will be just taking care of undressing your son and redressing him, then giving him meal, cooking something. Then you will begin with your kind of homework for the child, because your child, whether child studies at the 8th or 10th standard or in LKG, I feel mothers always remain occupied. They're always worried about the homework of the child.
Right, right, right. I got it. I got it. Actually, I have also seen my elder sister. She used to so busy at that moment when her daughter used to go to school. Since morning to night at 11 p.m. till 11 p.m.
Yeah.
I
So
think
that
it's
way,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, we ladies,
uh,
we never spare time, can never spare time for us. And because I have reached at that stage where my children, they are grown up, they can take care of themselves, then I, now at my stage, I have started advocating, convincing the young girls or the ladies around me that you should be a little bit selfish. Because if you start looking for that at some stage of your life, you will have time for yourself. That phase is never coming. You will have to create that moment for yourself. So better
right,
you start doing it from now.
right,
Nobody is going to create space and time for you, frankly speaking.
right, right,
You will have to do it. So try to be a little bit selfish, and there is nothing bad with it. We people never spare time for our grooming, our own interest, our own hobbies. We keep on sacrificing everything for the sake of our children or the family. This is the story of, I think, most of the Indian women in our
right.
society.
Mm,
But at some stage of your life, you would realize that it's
mm.
too much. Now it is too much. I must focus on myself the way I started realizing just a couple of months back. Then I made a list of mine that I have to do these kinds of things in my life. These are still undone. And first of all, foremost, the important thing for me was that I want to become a good communicator, because my children, they converse so well. And moreover, the kind of society I have around me, and not society, as a person, the kind of person I am, I believe that I always believe in growing, learning, growth. For me, it is very important, which so far I have been ignoring. But now I have realized it is too much. I have done lots of the things for the family, and these things are never going to end till my end. These things will keep on moving and demanding at the demanding end. So I must now take out the time for myself. And when you start chasing your passions, then you always become capable enough to spare time for yourself. Because if you start chasing some passion that I have to do this thing, automatically you try to manage the
Right.
things your way and you
Mm.
can spare time for yourself the way I am doing these days.
Mm-hmm. That you mean we have to manage our time by our own self. If
Yeah,
we know, yes,
nobody else is going to do it for you. Like, you are too young, you have a very small child, and you might be thinking the way you said, when he will start going to school. But I tell you, in reality, when he will be going to school, your responsibility will increase in
increase.
it increase multifold in different directions. Like, the homework of your child, that will also come on your list, checklist. His tiffin will come on your checklist, right? Then picking him from the school or dropping him at the school in the morning will be added up, might happen in your case also. So the thing is, responsibilities always keep on increasing, but you must have this realization at this very moment, that whenever you feel that you have to do something for your own, you have to spare time for your grooming, for your growth. At any stage of life, it will be you only who will be responsible for taking that time out of your schedule. Nobody else is going to do it for you.
Right.
And by default, you are not going to get that opportunity. You will have to work on it. You will
Mm-hmm.
have.
Agree. I agree with your points. Yes, and I think mothers are very emotional person for their kids as well. Like we would be so worried when our kid is with are with not with us. I think whenever he will be going, my son, about talking about my son, when he will be going to his school, I would be worried, and at that worried moment, how can I learn something else? It could be right.
This is the thing
Yes.
I'm telling you, that your responsibilities will take some different shape. They are not
Hmm.
going to decrease, they are going to increase multifold. It is
Hmm.
simply a myth that once my child will start going to school, I will have enough time after that.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
will have time in hours, in the form of hours, but those hours would be occupied with the thought process related to your son.
Right.
Yeah. So mentally, you will always remain stuck with something.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
You are quite experienced, and I
you
have
try to
been
learn from yeah, but that's what I'm about going to say, that you youngsters should try to learn from the others' experiences who are older than you
right.
in your
I'm
family,
learning.
your elder sister, your mom, anybody who is older than you. So, but it's a human nature. We always learn from our own experiences.
Right.
If we
Right.
start learning from others' experiences, we could have saved so many precious years of
Right.
our own life.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that way, Miss Minakshi, it's already being 23 minutes. Otherwise,
Yes, ma'am.
number of times people ask me, and in my comment box, one or two times somebody left a comment that I appreciate that. Ma'am, why do you have these kinds of one-on-one sessions? Why don't you start teaching something like gi- giving some, tips for some preparation for some competitive exams? But I'm still into this kind of chit chat. Reason being, Miss Meenakshi, I tell you frankly, the moment I'm talking to you, I'm not focused or I'm not working on my language. That is nowhere in my thought process. I enjoy conversing with the people on the other side. I love to know about the people on the other side. I feel otherwise in our routine, we never get the opportunities. Even sitting in the same house, in different rooms, we though live in the same family, but we are not connected. So maybe this is the reason that I feel so much connected with the person to whom I talk. So I enjoy that talk. Maybe this is the reason that whenever I get the opportunity, sometimes people approach me, sometimes I love to approach to different people. to have this kind of conversation, because I love to know about the people, that how do they take shape their life, they take decisions about their life, what is their perspective about different things, the way like I'm talking to you at the moment. I enjoy it.
Okay. And that gives multiple benefits, I think. It
Yeah.
is good being socialized, connecting with some people. It gives multiple benefits, increased confidence, and many things out there.
Yes,
I think it also improve our speaking simultaneously.
of course. That is, you can say, that is otherwise a hidden agenda, but we get to come up to that level automatically.
Yes.
Like the way I told you that the moment I'm talking to you, I'm not focused on my language. I'm not
Mm.
thinking, nothing is there in my thinking process that when I am talking to Miss Meenakshi, I must converse this way, I must use this word. It's just an automatic flow. But
Randomly.
I believe once you get into flow, automatically your vocabulary with the passage of time, that also gets enriched. And
Mm.
ultimately you get whatever you want. That is your communication skill. That becomes better.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
think we should hang up call now.
Yeah, definitely, because no one is
My
going
son
to
is also
watch
waiting.
the complete video.
Yes, ma'am. Right. No, there would be some person as well who are more interested. They can also watch. Sometimes I also watch a complete video.
I do, but I'm talking in general. In
Yes,
general.
yes,
Yeah.
there are so many person like
Because
that.
whenever I'm driving, I'm going heading towards my office, I always prefer to switch on some YouTube video, and I listen the complete video.
Okay,
And,
audio.
and every conversation, to whatever level the candidates belong to, whether they belong to basic or intermediate or the advanced level, I always get the opportunity to learn something out of that.
Mm-hmm.
You should have that learning kind of spirit, so you learn from everybody. So it's a very nice talking to you, Miss Meenakshi. Otherwise, we could have talked so much of the stuff in one sitting, but I believe that we must spare something for the next
Yes,
of the next
of
session or
course,
next of the sessions.
of course.
So thank you very much for being with me in this chit chat, and all my best wishes for your future endeavors, and lots of love for you and your small kid.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I'm also feeling so good after talking to you.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we will have another session as well.
Sure, definitely. If you would wish, definitely we would have another session.
Okay.
Thank